Hi, Jim Ziegler, the Alpha Dog. And this is the Dawg Pound. Oh, God, I need some music. Okay, we got an exciting show for you today. Today, we're going to talk about digital marketing. What is digital marketing? Is online digital marketing really happening? Is it a figment of somebody's imagination? Are the consumers using it? Are the dealers using it? And to start off, our guest panel today includes Ryan Magee from Upstart Auto Retail, and I've been calling it Prodigy. I guess you guys got bought out, huh?
We did about a year ago now.
I didn't realize the name had changed.
I've
marketing.
Okay, so Upstart Auto Retail, a full digital application, and there's a lot of digital applications in the marketplace today. Some of my favorite dealers are using Prodigy, and Ryan was good enough to give me a full demo. And okay, one of the most brilliant women in car business, right below Ryan on the screen, Miss Jennifer Briggs. Hi, Jennifer.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
Are you well?
I am on the mend, and it's taken a long time. I don't get sick very often, but when I do, I mean, it's been 5 weeks now. So I am on the mend.
Okay. I'm teaching a class at Northwood University on how to be a general manager. And I've been teaching classes at Northwood for a while virtually. This is Northwood, Detroit. It's a school that a lot of dealer sons and daughters and future managers graduate from because it has a course in automotive management. So one of the seniors about to graduate, and he needs a high-paying internship. My good friend Connor Cummings. Hello, Connor.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for having me on again. You know, anything paying at this point is going to be good news.
Connor, where are you looking?
Somewhere warm or somewhere in the South.
Okay. All right.
We can help you with that. Let's talk later.
That's why we have to pave the southbound lanes 4 times as much as the northbound lanes.
That's the truth. It ain't fun living up here.
And from CarNow. Tim Cox, how would you describe CarNow? What is are you a CRM? Are you a chat application? What is CarNow?
We started out as a chat application, but we are a communication platform that obviously has a digital retailing tool that lives within it. Our name CarNow is really about what we do. Engaging with consumers right now while they're on your website using automated workflows and conversations throughout the entire process. So we've just unveiled our brand new platform. So we do have a all-inclusive platform that we're delivering to the automotive space.
So you and Ryan are competitors. So we're not going to get into the differences, but I'm glad you're all here. And the queen of BDC, business development. I mean, this woman invented it. She teaches it. She's the best there is. My friend, she couldn't make it this week, but we did get Bobby
You're so funny.
we did get Bobby Heron.
I wish I could just carry you around with me to introduce me to people, Jim.
Are you well?
No, I have a type A flu right now. One of my kids just got out of the hospital, but I'm here.
Okay, the show must go on.
The show must go on.
Okay. Ryan, if I had to ask you in one sentence, what is digital retail?
Digital retailing is the process to allow a shopper to start the buying journey online or even complete the buying journey online.
Okay, now I know a lot of people using your product, and I know a lot of people using your competitors' products. Mm-hmm. Is it fair to say that it's still in its infancy and people are not as inclined to complete the process as we had anticipated originally?
Digital retailing itself? No. I think shoppers are wanting to start moving online. They want to think about any other product online. Mm-hmm. A car, while it's a bigger purchase, it's no different really. Even going back 5 years ago when I bought my last truck, I did so much of the process online. That's digital retailing in a nutshell. I did a credit application, I process my trade value. I can get a real-time buying decision on that through, back then I guess it would be Auto Trader, instant cash offer, not KBB instant cash offer. And then all you have to do is show up at the dealership and complete the transaction. So that's digital retailing in the mind of a consumer. And that journey right there is what we're seeing customers want to be doing and are able to do with other platforms out there.
Tim, pick up on that question a second. Are the consumers going through the process as we anticipated, or are the dealers good with it? What are you seeing in the marketplace in reality?
Well, let me get, first of all, I know we're competitors, but let me just say that I have the utmost respect for the Upstart team and what they're doing. I think is special, and I know some of their new or older executive team, and then what you guys are doing in the space is amazing. And we always think that a rising tide raises all ships, and there's plenty of dealerships, and I, again, just have been admiring the character of your company for a while. So I always say, we were talking about one-liners before we went live, and my one-liner that I use constantly is facts trump feelings. So I'm not going to give you Tim Cox's idea. I'm just going to give you facts. Nearly 94% of it's not, we keep talking about digital retailing. It's not really digital retailing. It's retailing. It makes me want to bang my head against the wall. 94%, facts trump feelings. 94% of every car bought in these United States starts online. So the different companies that offer different experiences allow that consumer to get a lot of the heavy lifting done before they come into the dealership. And we also found that nearly 80%, now this is 2021 data, we're still obviously 2022 is new, nearly 80% of the people that actually completed the deal online still wanted to come into the dealership. So it is modern retailing. It's how we, people don't mind going into the dealership. They just don't want to spend 3 hours in the F&I office with their keys.
And that's not new.
Bingo.
That is not
This
new.
isn't rocket science. And the dealers, and look, the show is not long enough to tell you the dealers that have got this right. Some using Upstart, some using us, but it's the process inside to make sure that they are serving the customer. Let me give you one stat that's pretty incredible. You asked if it's working. So we looked at nearly 300,000 conversations. To be exact, 292,917. 292,917. The ones that started and clicked on whether it's calculate payments, get my e-price, whatever that is, they not sold rate, but completed rate, meaning they start and completed buying.
That's what I wanted to hear.
A deal sub 2%, even with CarNow. Okay. And if any digital retailing provider out there is saying anything else, you might want to lean in a little closer.
So less than 2% are going through the entire process to the transaction complete.
Until if they have one conversation during that experience, that number goes from, now this is not sold rate. I want to make that very clear. This is completion rate. That number goes to 12.74%, which is nearly a 254% increase. So it goes back to that engagement, that BDC director, manager jumping in. Hey, listen, I'm the manager here at ABC Toyota. I'm not going to miss your business. How do I serve you? 254% increase. There's a lot to talk about there. So I will give the mic to somebody else.
Before that though, Tim, and I wanted to let you guys both, and side note for the viewers, I have stores on both Ryan's and Tim's product, and they're both, different cultures at the store, different processes. But the problem with digital retailing, and I thought I know digital marketing was the original topic on the post, but tying that in to how you convert the traffic you're driving to your website, right? The problem is that we as dealers are still not doing a very good job of letting our customers know they can buy that way. If you look
let me jump in on you a second. Let me jump in on you a second. I am doing a main stage presentation at Digital Dealer May 9th. Please come. But anyway, I am doing 20 things a general manager needs to do post-pandemic. And I am fully endorsing and encouraging dealers to get a culture that totally adapts digital retail. So I want everybody to know where I'm coming from before Jennifer continues. I am totally endorsing and saying this is something we need to do. So that's Jennifer, jump back in.
Well, the issue is there's a big difference in the products. And for those of you who have been watching the shows, you know this has been a passion project of mine for a long time. Actually, when Chevrolet first came out with Shop, Click, Drive, one of my stores was the very first store to 100% sell a Chevrolet online. It took us 9 months when the pilot first came out before we delivered it. But to the point of it's just retailing, we were already shipping cars all over to the lower 48 without a tool, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is if you just slap a tool on your site and you're not putting together messaging to tell your consumers, listen, if you like that Carvana experience and Carvana is telling you how easy it is, where is your branding message on your site? Where are you showing them? Look how easy it is to shop with us. You can get all of these things done before you ever come to the dealership. And some tools are lead gen tools, or what I would call a conversion tool for your website, because auto websites convert so great out of the box, don't they? Right? It's a whole different show. And some of them are end to end, and some of them even have an additional feature like Prodigy. In our One Touch store, we have a Lexus Plus, like One Touch, one price store. And we replaced our old digital retailing tool and our up rotation system with Prodigy because it fit the culture and the process of that store.
Right.
And that one is more of an end-to-end where they can really smooth out that transition. So the message to tell consumers they can use it is the first problem. And then where Bobby, like we talk about processes and BDCs or lead handling, regardless of your structure, if you have a customer who spent, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes online building their own deal and working through all those things. And when they show up in your lot, you don't know them from Adam and you make them start all over. Guess whose fault that is?
You make them start all over. Now,
because keep in mind, like a lot of people we see in the comments even, and this isn't to contest it, but a lot of people believe that digital retailing means completely buying a vehicle online from start to finish. But the truth is digital retailing, at its most basic level, is a series of experiences that allow the customer to easily maneuver and engage with the website at different stages of their purchasing.
How many dealerships you
one
with, Bobby?
spot leads to the next.
Bobby, how many dealerships are you working with?
Ooh, right now, personally, 31.
31.
That's not my team. That's me right now.
Yeah, Jennifer, how many?
From a operations consulting standpoint,
yeah,
I have 40 stores that I work with.
So
on the digital marketing side, I have 150.
It's broken out.
These two women are major decision makers in over 150 dealerships. And that's why they're on the show. So they're actually in the arena. They're actually working. And Ryan, you guys have got to do some better branding here. They didn't know you changed your name.
I didn't.
She won't call me back.
I offer consulting for vendors as well, for partners. So you hit me up.
We'll make that change. And Jennifer and I will start talking again, and you'll start realizing that we're Upstart Auto Retail and no longer Prodigy.
Okay, Prodigy is now Upstart Auto Retail, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I met you basically virtually through Jermaine. And,
yes.
You know, my good friend Brian Kramer, Jermaine Toyota. So I got a good feel for, Brian and I are pretty close. So I talk to him a lot. We talk about the experience. They're using it in dealership as well as online.
Correct.
Tell me about how that works.
And that's exactly like to Jennifer's point, digital retailing isn't just a tool, it's a process. And how do you use it and make it so that your customer is felt like they're treated in that complete way that they want to shop? You're honoring their time, their effort they put in to make them want to come back and buy a vehicle from you time after time, which is something that Brian and the team does down at Germain, where they are able to pick that customer up directly where they left off, pull in the experience, and show a tool that looks very similar to what the customer was used to online inside the store. So it's really all about how do we speed up the process? How do we make it easier? How do we allow that customer to shop how they best see fit?
How to let the customer shop. You know, I ran some surveys online, and it was amazing. Tim, everybody loves CarNow that's using CarNow. Everybody that uses Upstart loves Upstart. But I'm going to tell you, and that is a survey that I ran with my private groups. But what I found is that some of the other digital retailers, I'm not going to get into name calling or name pointing out anybody, but some of them were acquired, and all of a sudden they lost their appeal. So why do people have such a strong loyalty to CarNow?
At the end of the day, you know, we're here in Atlanta, and we have.
Yeah, I see the Brave Stadium behind you there.
We have our annual meeting. We didn't have it last year because of COVID, and 2020 we had it in January, so it was before everything hit. Look, at the end of the day, I could not agree with everybody, and I'm not trying to play politics here. Everything that Bobby and Ryan and Connor and Jennifer is spot on. There's a lot of good tech out there. There's a lot of good tech out there not named CarNow. But the reason that people don't cancel and the reason that our success and we're growing as fast as we have is our people. You know, I know you and Brian just had a conversation past the last event. Almost every event that I go to, they talk about our people. So we truly, are we perfect? No. But we have almost 100 people in the field that serve our dealers, that go into the stores, that train our stores. It's not just to set it and forget it. To I think it was Jennifer's point. Forgive me if I got that wrong. You know, modern retail or digital retail is not the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. When there's and again, I don't want to just spew data. You know,
good analogy.
Well, since there's a baseball field behind me, I thought I'd throw that out there.
I like baseball players, so I support this analogy.
So it is, you know, it's not the you know, if you build it, they will come. When there's marketing behind it, and wherever that customer gets off the exit ramp, being able to pick that up in store, best practices, that type of thing, that's when there's a difference. And we are seeing in some cases 200% and 300% difference. So I would argue when you say why people love CarNow, we have a servant mentality here. We have 232 people flying into Atlanta, and none of them work for me. I work for them. I serve them. We create that environment, and they serve their dealers. I got a text the other night at 10:36 from a dealer and said, "Is this freaking real? Like your people are literally, or is it just because I know you?" So at the end of the day, there's a lot of good tech out there, but when you have a servant mentality, do you make mistakes? Yes. When you love your people and your people love on your dealers, it makes all the difference in the world.
I will say I don't personally know Tim. I've not met him before today. And I think because we use CarNow as our chat provider across our websites. And so we've had a long time partnership with them.
They started in chat.
The digital retailing tool, the buy now tool. And I will tell you, what he's saying about their people is very true. I'm in Indianapolis, Tim. So Michelle, in
all fairness, you're receiving that same level of service from
we have great service. And I tell you, when they first started building it, the approach of the field reps was great. Hey, we're building this out. This is what we have so far. We want you to look and see, give it, how would you prefer to see this? And we do have really great support there. And I think what's unique about the two different tools, and it's just like a CRM, right? There's no one size that fits every store. It's the tech has to fit your dealership and your processes to make it work.
I want to get back to the core conversation. I am all in agreement that I got two of the best digital retail sources in the world right here on, but let's talk about, are the people using it? Do the people like it? Do the dealers use it? Let's get on that track.
Well,
we
let me give you some data from my
stores.
stores. Our digital retailing leads that we get, right? So when we're talking about sheer conversions, we're going to be seeing anywhere between a 10% close rate up to about 18.9%. I always look at those close rates as a 90-day rolling average because 1 month is not going to show you what you really need to see, especially in today's market where we don't have the inventory to close some of these opportunities like we normally would. And again, Jim, I think that the issue here is a lot of stores are just choosing a product or taking what the OEM is telling them. They're slapping it on their VDP or their SRP, not optimized to website conversions and how that should play.
That's one
and
of
then
the big
they're not going to
problems.
do the work.
One of the big problems right now is co-op.
It's only a problem if you let it be. I just canceled all the co-op for a Chrysler store because I refuse to switch the digital retailing tool because it is so effective in the store that it's in and the process is so on point that we said, keep your $8,000. The total that we were
I'm not
$8,000.
going to mention Stellantis and their edict that you have to use a certain provider, but it's more screwed up than a big pile of coat hangers.
If you are focused on co-op money, you are missing the boat.
Yes.
Let me just tell you that, because if that 50% match or 80% match, or if you're Subaru, 100 on a lot of it, right? If that is going to deter you from using a tool that is actually optimized to help you sell more cars, and I've said this for years, because I would prefer, and again, they've changed the rules on us over and over and over again. Back in the day, I just used to use my co-op on traditional, on my newspaper, my TV, and my radio, and not worry about my digital, because then I could hyper focus on low funnel consumers and products that actually worked. And if I sold more cars, I sold a heck of a lot more cars than that 50% match money. Let me tell you what.
Let me jump over to
more dollars to make done.
Let me jump over to the next generation a second.
Yeah, come on,
okay. Hey,
Connor, you can jump in, my friend.
I love the conversation. No, it's I was just kind of sitting back and I had my thoughts and opinions on it, and I didn't want to throw the corkscrew in quite yet. I think we're having a very limited conversation right now about online retail. Right now we're really talking about a transaction of a car, but at Northwood we learned the more beneficial sales transaction to get them back in the store is actually in the service department. So I think if you're only going online for the purpose of selling cars, I mean, you need to do that one, but you're also cutting yourself short in the end, and you're not being able to get the parts money off it and that kind of retention data along with it. And I think kind of the second important thing to realize.
I hope you learned that from me.
75% of the knowledge I have is from you, Jim, and the 25% I just make up. But I think the other important thing to also to take note, if you're kind of having the conversation right now, whether we want to go online or be a dinosaur and go extinct. I like what Ben Stock has to say a lot. Jim's the one that kind of put me on to him, and I watch him, and he's inspiring. He had that conversation about, do we do this mobile, like a mobile oil change, whatever his situation was, mobile detailing crew, whatever the case is. And what he found is they're able to go serve a bigger customer following, a bigger population of consumers, because they've now offered different services that people have the ability to get different access to. So I think that's also the important thing to realize too.
Ben Stock and I talk often, and he's a friend, and he's definitely a thought leader in the industry.
And the lesson on what he's doing and what Connor is talking about is that price is only an issue in the absence of value. So if you are making transacting with you easier and more convenient for your customers, you will make more money.
Well, the point is, I'm going to take a main screen a second here. The point is, we got to get that customer at the zero moment, and that is the advantage and disadvantage of digital retail. Well, that customer is still on the website. The website is your showroom today. Google is the weapon. It's all changed. But now you got to understand, when that customer is on the website, we have to somehow communicate with that customer in real time. Right now, we've got to be able to offer them a payment. We've got to offer them a trade. We've got to offer them anything, financing, anything. And 10 years ago, I would have said, hell no. I have had to
your presence
transition.
is your leverage, is what we said 10 years ago.
Oh my God, it makes me want to throw up every time I hear it.
When I was a manager, it was just one thing. When the salesperson came to the get them in.
Isn't it funny? You remember Joe Webb's video, the Just Get Him In video that he did? It's on YouTube still, and it's hilarious. I still play that in trainings, and I'm like, dude, this is like 12 years old, and we're still doing this. Because it doesn't matter what kind of technology or tool that you have. If you're not willing to give the customer what they're asking for, it's not going to convert the way that you want it to. If you put a product on your website that's designed to cause conversion, but you don't teach your team how to convert based on the information they have, it's not going to convert. I watch people
Bobby, there is a video on YouTube right now with over 1 million views of me teaching Foursquare. And I haven't taught Foursquare in 15 years. And I don't own that video. It was shot by somebody else. I can't even take it down.
It's incredible to me though, because I can tell you, we work a lot with process when tools are onboarded, right? With digital retailing, one of the things that I see, and not every company has this, but most do, somebody will get a lead in, I hate that word, an opportunity into their CRM, and they'll go, oh, this customer wants to put $5,000 down and have a $320 payment. And I'm like, why do you think that? Well, look at the details right here. I read them like you said. Because nobody came in and said, hey, that means that's the part of the tool that the customer used and played with. And here's the next step for that. And it's not that way with every one of them. And I'm not saying that every vendor doesn't come in and do their best to train or to do that with people. But not every
most of these CR tools don't.
Right.
They don't.
And not everybody's embracing it.
And they're not necessarily the lowest cost tool that you're going to put on your website. There's a big range in a lot of them, but it's a huge investment for your team to not understand what inspired that customer to click the button. And
you get to be psychic now. You get to be totally psychic when it comes to what a customer wants. We know every part of their journey, where they're at, what they're doing, what they're interested in, what their closing type is. I know that if a customer goes on and does a trade-in form, that they're a trade-in buyer. And now I know how to close them in the showroom. And yet we forget that you can take old school techniques and wrap them into new age technology and create something awesome.
Well, while we have
these two high-end tech companies, I want to ask a question. This is for the next phase, because this is one of my number one pet peeves with these products is the number of CTAs you put on my BDP. Because that is actually anti-psychology of web design for conversions. So when I have a gajillion different buttons, then what does my consumer know to do? And here's just a little tip. Would be really cool, maybe in your next rollout, if y'all can work on it, behaviorally change those buttons. So if that particular consumer has already filled out the trade form, do we really need to serve them a trade button again if you're storing that value for 30 days?
Let me ask Ryan and Tim a question. I'll start with Ryan. Ryan, how many people are reluctant to fill out a form on the internet?
How many people are reluctant to fill out a form?
Yeah.
With their personal information? I don't know the actual number, but higher than you want it to be.
It's a lot higher than you want it to be. So that has been always the stumbling block that people get right to the form, and I personally, and I've said it many, many times, I will fill out my paperwork online, but I still go to the doctor.
Of course.
That's an analogy, but Tim, take that question. How many people are filling out the forms? Where's the reluctance?
Well, let me just go back to facts over feelings, and I love this debate. In fact, a lot of those pain points we spent through the last year and a half. Our back end was not good. Our live time dashboard, there's a lot of things. Our reporting was not good. There was a lot of things that were wrong with us that we spent the last year fixing. And then that's why we just launched this brand new real-time platform. And I think it was, to Bobby's point, being able to integrate with, the wish list on the trade end while the customer's on your site. I got to make one statement. The biggest problem right now, I just looked at, I'm doing a presentation here in a couple of days, and I looked at some JD Power data, as they've been great partners of ours. The average gross profit at a dealership in 2019 was $2,183. Do you know what the average gross profit? This is JD Power PIN data, not Tim Cox data. You know what the average gross profit is right now?
It's got to be close to $3.
Almost $5,300. So we're going into the dealerships when they're buying, when it's the most profitable ever. And someone mentioned Brian Benstock. Brian Benstock says the time to fix your roof is not when it's raining, it's when the sun's out. Well, the sun's out. So a lot of this right now is because I'm making all this money. Why do I need to change anything? We have
I deal with that all the time, Tim. In the conversations I have with dealers, the reluctance to change, the reluctance to move forward. I've been in the business 48 years.
So when we take
fear the unknown, human nature is to fear the unknown and to overcomplicate things. That
no, it's ego. Come on, let's be honest.
It's a combination.
Successful, and they're not. Tim's right. It's the time to invest.
Oh, I agree.
Next leg of this.
So Kevin Fry, some of you guys know him.
Yes, great friend.
Kevin Fry. If you ask him, if you go online, it's on YouTube. His keynote address. He did 4 keynotes this past year in 2021, and it was we took all the forms off his website. We put 3 CTAs on his VDP. And just to your point, if the dealer wants, unfortunately, we can tell dealers, hey, you only need 2 or 3 CTAs and roll things down there. But if they want 7 CTAs, I mean, it's the dealer. You know what I mean? So it is best.
Explain CTA. What is the CTA?
A call to action. So get, for example, get e-price. So I used to have my dear friend when it was FCA, get e-price was the #1 click button in all of Chrysler pre-pandemic. Now it's almost non-existent. Now one of the most highly clicked vehicles is check availability, which used to be the worst because of the situation with inventory. People just want to know, it's a crazy place. I wish I was still behind the desk. Now people aren't saying, hey, can you beat the dealership down the street? They're saying, hey, would you please sell this for sticker to me? So that's why check availability is so important. But when we take forms off of website, again, quoting Kevin Fry, not me, he has nearly a 60%. He said it 4 times in 4 keynote presentations, 60% appointment show rate through that CTA. Phenomenal. When you give customers quick, and without throwing forms. When you give someone a form, and I'm done. When you give somebody a form, you're telling them, hey, I'm too busy for you right now. Fill this out, go in the waiting room. I'm selling so many cars at sticker or over that I may or may not get back to you in a couple hours. If I get back to you at all, because I'm going to take a living, breathing person that's on my website that I spent tens of thousands of dollars to get there, and I'm going to turn them into a data entry. And hopefully we might go to the fire department and get the jaws of life to get you out of the CRM to reactivate, because now you're on 3 other websites. The dealers that get that, like Kevin Fry, are the dealers that are seeing massive increase from their communication and their DR platforms online.
Yes.
So I'm going to step that back, because appointment show is not the metric you should be measuring. It is the conversion rate on your website. Automotive websites in general convert at just under 2% to form fills, right? We're not talking about adding any additional conversion widgets out of the box websites. When you streamline the options for your consumers, I always say, make the main thing the main thing. You want to know why they don't fill anything out? And side note, I have all the data to back it as well, because for years, while people are saying consumers stop filling out forms, my conversion rates on my websites have continued to go up. I mean, we're averaging around 6% conversion to lead form when you optimize that. And having a tool that will make it easier for the consumer to put the information in or to get what they need when they need it should only drive that number up. So please, if you're listening and you just put your digital retail tool on, or if you disagreed with the install team and asked them to put 7 buttons on it, you're costing yourself car deals. And again, I get it. You're situationally successful right now, or circumstantially successful because of the market, but that is not always going to be the case. And why would you not want to optimize every single opportunity that you have?
If you are not a marketing professional, stay in your lane. I never say that, but stay in your lane.
Holy crap, you just said stay in your lane.
Because this is the only time I agree with that.
Yeah, my turn. Okay, so what we're hearing right now is that the people are culturally using it, and I talk to 100 dealers a month. I mean, on the keyboard or on the telephone, I converse with 100 dealers or general managers. I consider general managers sort of an operating partner, whatever. But I talk to 100 decision makers a month. And it's like 50-50. People are not embracing digital retail as part of the culture of the dealership. And you know, if you were to define old car dog and look in the dictionary, my photo is right next to it. you know, 48 years in the business, I have transitioned so many times, but I'm willing to move with the times and stay ahead of it. You know, study your profession as surely as if you're studying for a master's degree in any other profession. So anyway, Ryan, what's the biggest challenge you have getting dealers to use the product?
I think it's the fear of the change. And like we said, digital retailing, well, yes, it's a tool. Digital retailing is also a process. Modern retailing, needing to meet that customer insight, like I've said before, we really need to be able to go make that change, be comfortable not just getting them in. We had a dealer reach out to us at the end of last month that one of their salespeople had just closed a deal in the customer's living room. So being comfortable letting that salesperson go out with the vehicle and do that offsite delivery, complete the negotiation process and everything in the living room while they're drinking coffee at the customer's home. That's really the big difference. Getting someone to want to make those changes is where we see a lot of our issues and conversations
Ryan,
we have.
The original purpose of digital retailing in people's minds, the theoretical mind, we're going to be like Carvana. We're going to deliver the car at their home or at their workplace, off-site delivery. But you know, that is such a small minority, and people forget that Carvana is a small minority of the market. Tesla is
Correct.
a small minority of the market statistically. You know, I mean, it's desirable, and maybe it's heading toward. People got all infatuated with Tesla and with Amazon. Take it.
Yeah, I think with looking at that, I mean, if we look at it, the last number I saw, I think, is similar to what Tim said. They see less than 2% in their platform. We're probably pretty close to that of actual complete transactions online. Last number I saw in the US, 10% or less of all car sales are completed completely end-to-end online. I do fall into that bucket. I have bought a Tesla. It is the easiest process of all time just because it does speed it up, makes it easy for me to get what I wanted, and all the information is presented in front of me. It makes that open, transparent process. And to Tim's point of profits are up over double in under 2 years. It's hard for all dealers to want to do that today. So there's just so much change to the DR process, but the customers are looking for something different, something open. And to Jennifer's point before, we don't want to just make that lead gate at the very beginning as well, like overform, making sure we're being strategic with our calls to actions into our digital retailing platforms or any of our forms is going to be of utmost importance.
You know, has anyone noticed? Sorry,
you also have to know that not every dealer is made to have digital retailing, and that's okay. If you're a dealer listening and you're like, I don't want to do this, that's okay. Don't spend the money, because if the process isn't in place, it will be wasted. You're not stupid for not doing it if you're making an educated decision based on what you're willing to do.
Tim, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, isn't it funny? Has anybody noticed? I've been quietly laughing. You know, Carvana, is when they first came into market, until about 6 months ago, I started hearing this. You know, ditch the salesperson. You know, they had the little floaty guy out front, and they had all the, you know, they had all the shots at that's. And now, have you heard? I love my Carvana salesperson. Have you heard those commercials? I love my Carvana salesperson. I love my Carvana salesperson. So now they missed that. And we bought a car on Carvana a couple years ago when as we continued to try to enhance our tool. And there's conversation involved in there. And I just thought it was funny. You know, people, if we're smart, we study human behavior. And Carvana spent hundreds of millions of dollars with this huge campaign. Ditch the salesperson. We don't have salespeople. Click online, buy from. But at the same time, now they're talking about they have an entire ad campaign that is saying, "I love my Carvana salesperson did this for me, and they answered the phone late."
Do they have a salesperson? Do they?
Well, it's an agent that's answering their questions. Is what
it was. Ditch the dealership was the marketing campaign.
There you go.
It was brilliant in that the playoff marketing from it fed off of all of the stereotypes that customers are frustrated with us over. But yeah, they are now promoting the Carvana salesperson so that you have a one-to-one interaction.
Correct.
I think where this conversation is going is We talked about zero moment and, when is the best time to have that conversation with the customer. But really, I look at it as, interferences with the car deal. I don't remember who was talking about, it was something about behavioral points, right? And we can see that, through certain transactions and more people transact this way versus that way. What's the preferred way of transacting online, all those things. And what we can see is limited interference. So not frictionless, but limited interference within the deal with how these people want to be interfered with along the deal. That's how I think people want to shop. Not necessarily pushing a vehicle service contract in front of their face, but just saying, hey, inflation's a real thing. We could lock in tomorrow's services and parts prices at today's rate. And, we don't know what this cost is going to be. So I think it's important to ask yourself, what information does the consumer really need to make an important decision? And that's the zero moment which you put in. It's not necessarily needs to be a conversation. Conversations are good, but really, what is that interference that consumer needs to make the best decision?
Now, Connor, you've attended just about every class I've taught at Northwood. What are the students saying? What are you hearing? You're graduating here in a month or two, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. I got a month left.
Get this guy a job. He's brilliant.
But yeah, what are the students saying at Northwood? I mean, it's you're a fresh of breath air. It's not even like it. What Jim brings to the classroom is such an invaluable resource. I mean, it's 50 years of trial and error best practices to do. I can sell Gap with, in my sleep, vehicle service contract. I mean, Jim talks about, having 10 different ways to close a consumer. I closed a vehicle service contract on my.
What are you hearing about digital retail in your class? I've brought digital retailers in, and what are you hearing about digital retail?
To us, it's like so mind-boggling to us that people are actually having the conversation of we shouldn't do online retail because, like I said, like you're missing hundreds of thousands of people that you can't sell to when you just have a physical storefront. I mean, it's just like Amazon isn't Walmart and Walmart ain't Amazon. Like they're two different beasts, but you can't have one without the other, I feel like. And it's just, it needs to be a switch of thinking. It's like, do you do digital retail? Duh. It's not even like a conversation really. It's just, this is the right way to do it. And if you want to be successful, this is what it looks like. And Jim brings people in, we have those conversations and we see different strategies and usages of it. And I think it's on the student to kind of let their mind explore and, take the information you give with us and run.
I think it's important for anybody watching the show to understand what Connor just said, because we are seeing a shift in generational purchase power in our country. And again, if you're just sitting back and not preparing for this next generation of buyers, they don't understand why you're not doing it, is what Connor just said.
These students are, many of them are dealers' sons and daughters, next generation dealers. Many of them these are the dealers of the future.
Right.
And they're shifting thinking. So jump on that.
I was going to say, so if you don't currently have your succession line enrolled at Northwood, you're listening to your competition right now. So get it together.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh,
fantastic.
No charge. Just because I love that sassy level of confidence and competition.
Hey, why are you gonna send your kids to Liberty and Kaiser? I mean, like, that's signing them up for a JV team. But that's.
Plus, you have such great educators there. I mean, I'm a guest lecturer there, so I'm a little biased, but it's a whole thing.
I mean, we're the only NADA accepted school out of the other ones. I mean, you can go ahead and waste your money, but I mean, you do you.
I will tell you though that the digital marketing part of automotive of the university did not used to exist there until Brian and Glenn, and actually Glenn came.
That's what I wanted to get out there, Bob.
It didn't exist. It was not impressive, and you guys were coming back. So I'm so glad that changed.
I sort of brought it to their attention.
It's for a long time it was not a thing. It was just operational, which is, I'm not saying that that's not important. Operation is huge. I consult on operations. It's wildly important, but it is a part of it is that the marketing has to be such a focus, because even if you're going to hire a marketing director or you're going to hire a partner or a vendor to handle things, you still have to understand what you're doing so that you can get out of the way and watch it happen. It's a big part of it.
Tim Cox, what is so important about real time?
what is so important about real time, because they're on your site now. You know, I mean, we're now. I mean, people want things now, and the dealerships that are truly engaged with interacting and communicating with dealerships while they're on their website versus waiting to make them a data entry. And look, there's great processes to get them out of the CRM. There's some amazing CRMs out there. I'm just saying, why not communicate while they're on? Because what happens is, you know, historically, I know we have some amazing process trainers on this call, but if we don't answer the question, I mean, and I've been a car guy since 1989. I was 17 years old. Jake Sweeney Hyundai in Florence, Kentucky, little south of you, Jennifer.
Awesome. I love the Sweeney group.
Yes. And, you know, I've been doing this a long time, and used to be, it was, what's your name? What's your number? What time? My manager's not here right now. What time can you come in? Well, if you don't serve that customer, they and answer their question, they've gone to your competitor. They've gone to 2 other different websites looking at the same car. So that's why now is important. And I just want to plant a seed as we land the plane. I think us as companies and us as dealerships, and Connor as the next generation, we have to be looking, you know, and I'm not going to preach here. I told you my daddy was a preacher, but my favorite proverb is this, and I think it's so wise. The prudent see danger and turn from it, but the simple keep going and suffer harm. I live my life by that. The prudent see danger and turn from it, but the simple keep going. I'm making $5,000 a copy. I don't need to change everything. Everything is great, you know, and then all of a sudden inventory is back, and you know what I mean? So I think that's extremely important, just like cryptocurrency. 50% of every millennial owns cryptocurrency. We're bringing cryptocurrency into automotive. That probably needs to be a completely different podcast. Being able to utilize Bitcoin and buying a car, being able to use.
We have an NFT of me.
I'll bid. Hey, 35 and a half. There's an auction. So we have to be looking for what's coming next to prepare for it before we suffer harm for it. Because, you know, success creates weak people, unfortunately, in a lot of cases. Does. So
it certainly does. And I think from a digital retail standpoint, and I know we're coming to the end of the show, even if you have something, if you didn't actually put together an end-to-end strategy, what is your goal, right? How do you want your consumers to be able to engage? And I know the availability is an issue currently. And I think it was Tim who had shared some data from their dealers as far as the right CTA verbiage. And we recently did this analysis across every dealer.com website out there, because we had made changes away from check availability to a got today's price a long time ago. And of course, with the changes in availability, we go back to look at the data, because we are very data driven in the decisions that we make, because ultimately I just want to sell more cars. And we still see that we didn't make the switch. Somebody had recommended that we made the switch. It was one of the OEM digital reps, right? They're saying, oh, you should do check availability. And so we pull all of the data, and our current CTA is still converting at 8.37% compared to what they see check availability. So granted, again, if you are starting from just install it and don't understand the strategy, you have to know the conversion rate. You need to optimize it, because the better the tool is at converting, whether it's an actual tool or your website, so you can retail without a tool, right? Think about that. Because I've done it my whole career, right? I was blessed to start with a group. We had a specialty, a collectible pre-owned sports car business unit. So we had our own car haulers. We were shipping to the lower 48 ever since I started in the car business 20 years ago now. Right? We just had we had our own driver, and his girlfriend rode with him, and she was a notary and could stamp off on all that paperwork and bring it back. But it's just retailing. So understand, okay, my current website conversion rate is this. I'm adding this tool because I want to make it easier for my consumers. So what am I expecting the conversion rate to go to now? Now, a lot of tools, like Tim's tool, allows for a chat conversation as well, not just a lead form. But one thing I strongly encourage people to think about, and I think it was Ryan who mentioned this earlier, if you put PII up front, which is personal information, right? I'm requesting all your personal information before I even let you shop. You are not going to see the conversion rates that I am talking about. You've got to work with a provider that will allow you to customize where we're asking for that. And to Connor's point about selling Gap and all of those things, if you're not integrating your aftermarket products into your digital retailing
I want to talk about that a second.
leaving money
hang
on the
on, hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one thing
Sorry, I'm
that we
fired up. I'm
found
sorry.
out is that one thing we found out is the dealers I'm talking to, the consumers are reluctant. They're not watching the videos like we thought they would. They're not watching the videos.
The F&I videos.
That's why.
That's because those
the
videos are
videos,
dumb.
the service contract video, the Gap video. They're not watching them in the numbers we thought they were going to watch. And
If they looked like a TikTok, they'd watch them.
Oh, if they look like a TikTok
that video, you'd be all good.
Okay, so you go sell a service contract, put a little cleavage in there, and do TikTok, right?
I don't even need any cleavage to do it. It just needs not to be boring. I don't need an 80-year-old man going, you need a service contract because.
Well, and let me ask you this: does it really matter? Let's think about how you configure your desking tool, because a digital retailing.
Well, let me go where I was headed for a second.
Okay.
Okay, so the videos, people are reluctant to watch the videos. That's why, once again, we've got to be able to find a way to come in with them with a Zoom type broadcast and have a live person convert with them and actually a live person chat with them. There's got to be some communication with that consumer in real time at the zero moment while they are still on the website, while they are considering, because the videos ain't working.
So I don't think it's necessary for them to watch the video. And honestly, I think that it is best to let them decide. And if we're providing information, Jim, we're communicating, but we're not providing information. And I'm not talking about having the videos for the products embedded. When I configure desking in all of my stores, I have templates. And in the templates for the first pencil, there is a standard set of products that we like to present. So why on earth would you not do that in your digital retailing tool?
Now, there are people that will buy a service contract automatically.
Most of our consumers who buy this
I will always buy a service contract.
I do too.
If the F&I provider would just shut up, I'll buy a service contract.
But
You
a
don't need
lot
to
of
do a
dealers
10-minute
don't even put it
presentation.
in their DR tool as an option for the consumer to put it into their pencil. A digital retailing tool at the core of it allows a consumer to pencil their own deal. And we completely and totally ignore that when we set it up.
Yeah.
Look at it like your desking software.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You'd
they
be
use
shocked
it for-
how many dealers don't
okay,
have pricing
okay.
on their DR tools on their new cars right now.
You brought
Pricing.
that up. Hang on one second, Ryan. I know that there are a number of dealers that use your tool live in the showroom, but when the customer isn't even on the website, they're using it as their desking tool.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Being able to complete across the board. And like Jennifer mentioned, you can have that set up so that you have in every first pencil, it has that protection plans added right into it. Just even allowing that customer to go through. Yes, the videos don't get as much traction as we want. To Bobby's point, most of them suck. By going out there and having your F&I manager maybe create their own, make it more exciting, have it more fun, and want that shopper to actually look at it and read, they're able to start learning about these things on their own. And we see take rate go through the roof. I'm sure, Jennifer, in your store, that's the one price, the Lexus, they saw an increase in rate. We've seen stores double just from showing it more online.
Well, and we're cradle to grave. We have one point of contact.
Right.
So our F&I, our salespeople spin the paper. They're the F&I people too.
And those are the stores we're seeing the most success in because it's more transparent. They're not taking extra time out of the deal. It's baked into the first pencil they're seeing. So in their mind, the price that they saw up front is the price with the plan, which is exactly what they want at the end of the day and what the store wants. So it's a win-win for everybody by presenting it up front that way.
So the purpose of digital retail originally was to pencil the deal online and to make a transaction where they've transacted the finance. Finance was the last key.
That's the hardest
thing.
part to get into digital retail.
Yes.
Is that finance. How do we get there? How do we get the consumer or the store ready to go and show that off? I think is the piece that most stores sadly have turned off still. I mean, if you look at a process and we've gone through and said, hey, a trade-in and a credit application, that's digital retail. Back 10 years ago, that was digital retail. It really still is. It's moving in that direction. So, I mean,
Ryan, before we get off here, what is your website?
We are upstart.com/dealers, I believe, is our website today.
Upstart.com. Will that get you there? Just upstart.com?
Upstart.com/dealers is our website.
Okay.
So while you're looking at that, can I just throw something out there real quick for a quick second? When I'm talking about videos for finance being jacked up and I'm saying do them like TikTok, here's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about on the website. I'm talking about using smart marketing to follow the people who have been on the website and use those tools so that when Connor goes on to TikTok, Connor sees a kid his age. Sorry, Connor, your kid's me, but you're working on it, right?
Hey, it's an
About to
endearing
go, hear me out on this, who's about to go on an adventure, get on a plane with his friends, celebrate graduation, but his car breaks down. And he's like, oh, that's right. I got a service contract in 15 seconds. Now we're having a party on a plane. And it leads you right back to the website.
Or
So I just do things on websites.
to the other point,
Great
that you
process.
shouldn't
Tim.
just do it for car sales. Let's talk about tying
Yeah.
that type of same thing into your service lane traffic. If you're looking at consumers, you can see the last time they had maintenance. You can see, is their warranty about to end? You can see,
We
did
know
they buy this
everything.
or not?
Okay. This is like herding cats. Hang on one second.
It's all about digital retailing, Jim.
The luckiest man I know.
Okay. What is your website, Tim?
CarNow.com. It's up there.
Okay.
Somebody put it up there.
Yeah, I put it up there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I would-
CarNow.com.
Okay. We were talking about the importance of real time, and we went all around it. And
You know, I can't remember if it was. I can't remember who said it, so my apologies. But somebody said it here. It's mixing old school with new tech. This isn't rocket science. I've been selling cars a long time. I've been running dealerships for 2 decades, and when I spiffed my salespeople, when I made it part of our process to show them when they were waiting it in the business office, this is 20 years ago. When I made them part of the process, show them, talk about a vehicle service contract, when they talked about Gap, when they talked about ClearBra, my F&I penetration went up. Just like when you show it online. Now, we had the privilege to partner with JD Power F&I, which is Darwin, and the great job that Phil Batista has done. I would argue that Darwin, as far as in-store menus, they have 8,000 dealers. They got to be doing something right. Do a really good job. So when we integrated that, and I'm not going to just spew out numbers to sound smart, because we're still working on them. I do know one dealer group was over 30% product penetration over and above what they were previously. So we have integrated, literally Darwin and CarNow have partnered together. JD Power F&I have partnered together, and the increase and again, that's brand new partnerships. We just started taking dealers live in February.
So now you can offer actual bank offers.
100%. So we just put together and get the first click to sign full but here's the key. We also integrate with the DMS. So we're DMS agnostic. So we integrate with every DMS. I think that's key, push pull, real-time decision-making through Route 1 and Dealer Track. But I'm getting off track a little bit. I just wanted to say that you have to a little bit. People are still people. And I apologize. I don't know if it was Jennifer or Bobby who said it, but when you mix old school with new technology, people still like to be loved on. They still want to be shown. Quite frankly, they want to be sold. When you mix the two, you get phenomenal results. So the jury's still out. Again, we're seeing there's a particular large dealer group in the Southeast that saw what they're telling me, early reports online, over 30% since that Darwin integration. So I am agreeing with everything that you're saying, and I really believe the best is yet to come. So now we are literally one product. So that's kind
okay. As we wind down, Connor Cummings, would you like people to call you about a job?
I would love that. Yeah.
What is your phone number?
But only if you're in a warm state.
Only if you're in a warm state.
What's your phone number?
And in the South. I don't do too well in the West.
What's your phone number?
Phone number 931.
Slowly.
44 6 9453.
Okay, so you're looking for an internship. You're looking for a job. I mean, you're going to graduate from Northwood University, and if somebody hires you, a vendor or a dealer, right?
Yes, sir. Either or. Just want to have a good start career, or a good start to my career.
Fantastic. So, okay, so Ryan, was this as good for you as it was for me?
Yeah, it was great. I really appreciate being on here, and it was a great conversation. I think everyone out there watching on this just really needs to know, like we said, it's multiple approaches to digital retailing. Consumers are interested in doing it. Whether you want to start at your store offering up that crawl of, hey, there's a trade, there's a credit application. If you want to walk and start getting into showing F&I and real payments, or if you really want to run with digital retailing and using a platform like ours at Upstart or Tim's at CarNow, where you can do a real-time decision, you can really sell that car completely online. Finding a partner that's going to help you grow through that mentality and offer up all of the pieces along the way and building a process in is really going to be what's going to set you apart and make your store the most possible success.
Thank you for being here, Tim. Thank you. This has been a really interesting show.
Not enough time for the topic with
I'm glad
that
I tell you what, when
us.
everybody starts talking, I have to herd cats. It's like, oh my God.
It's a fun game for you, Jim.
It is. We're keeping you young.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I might be immortal. I'm 75 years old and I'm still doing it. Everybody wave goodbye to the audience.